As I'm given this seat, first of all, I would like to express my gratitude, thankfulness for again you allowing me to come here to Rajpura. I think this must be the fifth time I think I'm visiting here, fourth or fifth. I'm losing count. But every time when I come, I get tremendous inspiration just by seeing the devotees and how everything seems. Maybe I have a little bit of this tourist syndrome to when I come and then I'm seeing all just the beautiful things. And if I would stay here for some months, maybe it would be different. But still, I'm quite convinced that here are dedicated people. Some are more dedicated, who are so dedicated, have given their whole lives for the service of Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. And then I see so many others, all of you who are kindly participating, assisting. And that is very, very beautiful to see. So this is my great fortune that you are giving me this opportunity to be here. Always I have felt so welcome, despite such a fallen background, and not very much what I can share or contribute, but still you are allowing me to come here time and again. So thank you very much. Now on this Nityananda Trayadashi, a holy festival, a sacred day, what we are celebrating, of course we should remember Lord Nityananda, his pastimes throughout the day. Now why not every day? There is so much for us to relish and take instruction from. His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada was not in a habit of. His talks were very entertaining, but not in this Bollywood type entertainment. Nothing like that. One time, Srila Prabhupada was asked by some gentleman, might have been somewhere in Maharashtra. I don't remember, but here in Bharatavarsha anyhow. A gentleman approached His Divine Grace and was asking that, "Oh, Swamiji, would you please share us some Krishna Katha?" And Srila Prabhupada simply replied, "Oh, Krishna Katha, that is such a high topic. We are simply trying to understand that we are not this body." Sometimes I have heard these statements from ISKCON devotees that, "Oh, Prabhu, why always with this same topic? We are not this body." We have heard this hundreds, if not thousands of times. Couldn't there be something more, something nice, something more enlivening for us to hear? But then one answer could be that, well, as Srila Prabhupada himself, he was criticized by his own disciples about this point. Why always the same topic? Do you know what was Srila Prabhupada's answer? How did he reply to this criticism? The answer was that, well, you have not yet realized. You have not understood this first point. The first teaching of Lord Krishna there in Srimad Bhagavad Gita. That you are not this body. We are going from body to body to body. That is the first thing in spiritual realization. We are not this body. So we will not be discussing this very point today so much, but I would like to ask you for your opinions or thoughts. Well, as Yogesh Prabhu was here mentioning, that I have for the past years I have been going around schools there, especially in Finland. And often I ask the students the same question, that what is that thing what everyone is seeking in life? Or what is it that all living beings want to have or are looking for? So out of curiosity, I would like to hear, how do you reply? What is it that everyone wants? What are we all looking for? What are we seeking? What are we trying to get? And not only human beings, but every living being. What is that? What comes to your minds? There's not a single right answer, but it would be nice to hear from you. What do you think? What is it that everyone wants? Not just human beings, but every living being. Satisfaction. Yeah, satisfaction. Yeah,
Pleasure.
happiness and pleasure. Now, nice that you said this. Usually, at least there in Finland, I never came across any single person who says about pleasure. People might say these things and happiness, yeah, satisfaction. Many students are saying simply survival, and I'm a bit surprised. Well, not surprised, but it is a bit off-putting to take notice how often people or these young kids, well, in their 15, 16 years, so they say money, and then I remind them that, well, the question was every living being. So if you look at the birds there or the animals or the trees, they could care less. But we are so much hung up on these thoughts. Money, 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 money. That is what we want. And yeah, satisfaction, happiness. And someone might say love or relationships, whatever it might be. But the common denominator is that we all want to enjoy. We want money so that we can enjoy. We want happiness. Well, enjoyment and happiness, they are interlinked somehow. Love, relationships, or someone might say health, survival, even everything. It's all the culmination point is enjoyment. We want to enjoy, but not a single person there in Finland has so far during these several years that I've been doing this. Not a single person has expressed that. Nice that you did. So we are seeking for all these things, but then the circumstances where we are in, we are being force fed all kinds of materialistic ideas. So in advertisement, in social media, everywhere, the media is screaming that you should get this, you should get that, and the society also is geared toward sense gratification, toward the idea that through serving this body and the bodily senses, through service of the mind, the mind gives us some demands, and when we fulfill those demands, then we'll become happy. Now there is this some pressing desire, a burning desire. Oh, I want to have this, I want to have that. And when that is satisfied, then we will be happy. But no, that doesn't really happen. We have personal experience of this, I'm sure, all of us. But still, we try. So whether it be money or a position or some high career advancement, whatever that might mean, followers on social media. His Holiness Bhakti Swami Maharaj, he's occasionally pointing out, well, last time there in Rameshwaram on his Vyasa Puja festival, he mentioned that there have been cases where people even commit suicide because of not getting sufficient likes on Facebook or wherever. So that is shocking. That how much we are invested in these kind of things, that I must get followers there on this, I must get these likes, and if that doesn't happen, then we are ruined when I think like that. And about this career, an interesting thing what Guru Maharaj is also mentioning time and again is that there are two meanings in the English language for this career. Career, well, all of you know that we want to have some nice job, a good advancing career. But careering as a verb means that when you are driving a car and then you lose control of that car, it starts going here and there. That's also called careering. So that we can meditate upon that point, that if we really invest ourselves in developing some career, we might lose the actual essential thing in life. And why so? We will come to that point in a little while. So in this teaching work, what I have seen, so I've been going to high schools, but also have been working with students in elementary school, and mostly from Indian background or Nepali, from Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, such countries. And as we are teaching there in Finland, we have this quote unquote Krishna religion. What we are so they're in public schools. It's part of the curriculum. We are teaching on the basis of Srila Prabhupada's books. And those students from age 7 till 15 approximately, what I've noticed, they are more cultured than the Usually they are, in a general sense, they are more cultured than the mass of society, because they have an understanding of social values, not so crazily emphasized concept of individuality. They know the meaning or value of family life, and they also understand that there are elders should be respected. These are some basic points, and they are not completely, at least, atheistic. Whereas the general population there in the country is 100% atheistic. Well, in a general sense. Even priests, there are priests who are atheists, by the way, which is a strange sounding thing, but very much present in the society. So the students often, though they might be somewhat well disciplined, coming from a nice cultural background, but very restless and bewildered. It is said there in the first shlokas of Srimad Bhagavatam, I believe it's the 10th shloka of the first chapter of the first canto, that sorry, that in this age of Kali, people are unfortunate, misguided, and several other things. And the last item mentioned there is that always disturbed. So I believe that all of us, we have experience about this disturbance of the mind. So that is there present in today's society. Then there's confusion. People have no clear ideas what is right and what is wrong, what should be done and what should not be done. Pravrittim cha nivrittim cha janana vidura asuraha, as Krishna himself is describing there in the 16th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. And he's speaking about the demons, by the way, that such people do not know what is to be done and what is not to be done. So using somewhat harsh language, we can say that this modern society equals demoniac society. And then it's up to us where we want to belong. Do we want to belong in this society pursuing money and career and some position and ending up in a very miserable circumstance? Or do we want to, so this movement established by His Divine Grace, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, this movement is supposed to bring about a revolution in the society. It is not just some casual movement or a religion among so many other religions. There is actually a very, very high purpose and high goals, high ideals. So if we take this seriously, we have to, in any case, taking it seriously or not, but we have to make the choice, where do we want to belong to? Do we want to belong to this group or that group? And then, of course, we can try and belong a little here and a little there. But then the end result usually is that we will remain unsteady and more or less bewildered. So it is up to us to make the choice. And there in the society, as I was mentioning about these school children, some of them have knowledge, dedication, but it seems that there is an idea that religion means sentiment and some rituals to be followed. But it is much, much more than that. Every single person has some religion, or let's rather use the word dharma. Because dharma is a proper word to express that we have we need not develop some kind of a position, we need not advance through the ladder of some corporation or career to become what we are, but we are already something. There is a purpose for our existence, purpose of our life. But when people have no concept of dharma, what is our actual natural position, then all kinds of crazy ideas start coming up. And then as a result of that, there will be misery, frustration, bewilderment, confusion, all these things. Religion is not, religion we can choose whether we like it or not, but dharma we can choose to reject dharma, but then that is an unnatural, unhealthy situation. It is a diseased situation. Then we will be diseased. If we think about the word dis and ease, so there is no more ease. Our life becomes somewhat, in one sense, easy, facilitated by dharma. But then if we reject dharma, there will be so many difficulties. Difficulties there will be even if we follow dharma, but then there will be some sense and an understanding how we should deal with these difficulties on the basis of dharma. And that is what Bhagavad Gita is all about. And all the teachings of the Vaishnava Acharyas, Nityananda Prabhu, and everyone else teaching about the same thing practically. Not only in this Vaishnava tradition, but Jesus Christ, Prophet Muhammad, everyone is teaching about the same thing. High position in a society doesn't mean that a person is somehow exalted or a great person. We are admiring, usually we see that people who have, actually that is also said there in Srimad Bhagavatam, that especially in this age of Kali, people are considered to be great if they have a lot of money and also if they have a lot of sex. So these two things are what are the measurements. Yeah, something like, yeah, how you see what the person is worth. But this is a very low class society. There has to be more in a human being than just these kind of things. So people who are on these terms, who are advanced, often we can see that they are agitated, they are frustrated, they do not have peace of mind, and so many issues are there. Proud, selfish, and never satisfied. Actually, they might pose themselves as satisfied, but that is not really the case. So in social media, it's easy to post these pictures of smiling faces and nice scenery and nice, valuable, costly clothes and cars or whatever it might be. But that doesn't make a person satisfied. That doesn't give us happiness. And if we think about material science, which is the foundation of the modern worldview, we can say that material science seeks to study that which is not eternal, because there is no concept of eternity there in materialistic science. So that which is not eternal in Sanskrit terms is called asat, not truth, or we could call it tamas. So
they are trying to study, for example, limits to infinity in some quantum physics. That is a new.
yes, infinity, that is a concept there, but eternity, I don't hear very much in these discussions. And what is a fact that no one is discussing even the possibility of the eternity of the spirit soul, because there are these scientific conferences, as I've heard, that often they in the very beginning of these conferences they say that okay, we are free to discuss anything, but no concept of God, no concept of soul. Those are rejected from these talks. And moreover, I have one friend who has a PhD in theology, and he said in the theological department of Helsinki, where he was studying and had his doctorate, and he said that there is a often heard phrase, or like a catchphrase almost, that I started my studies in spirit and then I graduated in the city of Helsinki. So something happens there that people go and study about God, about religion, and then they become atheist in the course of that, which is somewhat disturbing or strange. That why do these things happen? Material science is founded upon the principle that we should somehow or could somehow control nature, which is impossible. We cannot control nature. And nature is not what we are supposed to control. We are supposed to control our own minds. That is the thing. that we should try and control. But these sort of things are not very much, as far as I know of, it is not very much discussed in the field of material sciences. So I would like to ask you, in the pursuit of happiness, what can we learn from scripture? What does Shastra tell us? If we think about Bhagavad Gita, for instance, can you think of some shloka, some statement by Shri Krishna? Yeah, that's a nice one. Yes. So what is the meaning of that? Vishendriya samyoga, tat agre amritapamam.
Happiness which is derived by the contact of senses with the sense objects
Uh-huh.
is pleasing in the beginning,
Yes.
nectar in the beginning,
Yes.
and poison in the end.
Yes. Yeah, and tat sukham raja samasmritam.
And Prabhupada said that this kind of happiness should always be avoided.
Yes, yeah, very strong statement that always to avoid this kind of. So those are the heavy words of an acharya. So that is, if we consider that could be addressed as a negative. So that is to be avoided. What could be a positive shloka about happiness there in the Gita? Can you think of something? Mahabhagavat Prabhu, something comes to your mind? Oh yeah. Brahmabhuta Prasanatma. Sochatina Kakshati. Now Sochatina Kakshati. That doesn't hanker after anything, or does it lament. So that means satisfaction. And there at the end of the second chapter, Krishna is speaking that if we take this path, that we try to somehow serve the desires of the mind, there will be no end to that. It can never give us satisfaction. But a sober person should understand that we rather take some distance from these desires, or even better than that, develop better desires. Just a few days back, His Grace Keshavanand Prabhuji there at Badrikashram, he was speaking on the point that for sufferings, if they seem to overwhelm us, then we think bigger. We take up some bigger suffering there in the picture. So then our sufferings, what we are experiencing, they start seeming very small. So also in the case of desires, we can apply that okay, we have some lusty desires, but let's develop some better qualities and make them bigger. So then the lusty desires, they become very, very small, and then it doesn't bother the mind anymore so much. But then if we think that okay, now the lusty desire is somehow nagging there and disturbing my mind, so I'll just go along with it, then it's like pouring gasoline in fire in an attempt to extinguish that. It doesn't really work. There in the Gita also, what I was thinking about there in the 10th chapter, there's this matchitta matkata prana bodhanta parasparam kathayantastamam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. So devotees are such personalities who are always discussing Krishna Katha. And this way they enjoy. It is very enjoyable. Not maybe in the beginning, because we have so many materialistic infatuations or attachments. So we might not find it at the very beginning so enjoyable, so relishable. But every one of us, I can guarantee that we can find some nice service, some enjoyable service. And when we engage in that selfless service for the devotees, ultimately for the Supreme Lord, Shri Krishna, Bhagavan Shri Krishna, and Nityananda Prabhu, then that gives us gradually, step by step, more and more happiness, more and more satisfaction. So that is the path to get what we are actually desirous of getting. But on this path of this path of materialism, it's a dead end. There is nothing there really. And so many people I hear that there's something that usually comes up when I come here discussing with the youth, and not only here but elsewhere also, that there is this idea everyone wants to, well, here in this part of the world, people want to go to the West, with the idea that their life is somehow more smooth, or there are better possibilities for enjoyment, or whatever it might be. And they're in those countries. People might then think that, okay, let me go to this and that. So everywhere, all around the world, people want to leave their present place and go to someplace else, with this illusory thought that there it would be nicer, grass is greener on the other side of the fence, or something like that. So all these illusions. Lord Krishna has put us in a certain place for a certain reason, and then we should take that opportunity. And then one can ask, why am I here then? Why am I not there in Finland? Because I come here to relish what you have, so that I have something that I can bring back home, because you have some real culture here. And I could go and visit these schools and explain about, well, this is what Krishna says in the Gita. But I have noticed that even more effective is that when I describe about the culture and the experienced culture here. So that is something that really leaves an impression on these students. So you have great culture here. Please maintain it. Please appreciate that, because that is a real wealth of your lives. Little something about the qualities of Lord Nityananda. Maybe the most prominent of his qualities would be compassion. There is this famous shloka uttered by Srila Rupa Goswami, one of the close followers of Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who uttered this verse, Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate. And so he's calling Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Mahavadanyaya, the most munificent. Yeah, that would be the English term for that. So he's very generously Krishna Prema Pradayate, distributing fruits of love of Godhead, being very compassionate to the fallen. But Lord Nityananda Prabhu, it is said of him that he is even more compassionate than the most compassionate Lord. How is that? Can you explain? How is it possible, and how can we practically demonstrate that Nityananda Prabhu is even more merciful? Something from...
Demonstrated with the pastime of Jagai Madai.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would be probably the most outstanding example of that. So Nityananda Prabhu, not only in this Jagai Madai pastime, but he was going, well, with Thakur Haridas. They were going from door to door and simply begging people that please take this holy name. And with tears in his eyes, he was literally begging people to take that. So this is the mood that they exhibited. Not only, well, Nityananda Prabhu, he was the fountainhead of these activities. So there is absolutely no limit to his mercy, his compassion. One time there was an incident. Srila Prabhupada, some disciple, he was known to not follow the four regulative principles very meticulously. He was not being attentive of his vows. And then the devotees were thinking, well, what should we do with this guy? And should there be some limit that, okay, if you still break, if you still misbehave, then you would be kicked out. And then there was Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, who was asking Srila Prabhupada that, well, where exactly is the limit? So if he breaks, if we warn him once, twice, or thrice, and then what is the limit? When do we kick him away? And Srila Prabhupada replied that, well, it is the movement of Lord Krishna, Lord Nityananda's mercy. So there is no limit. It's boundless. No limit to the mercy. So that is something really amazing. Another prominent quality of Lord Nityananda is his fearlessness. Can you think of an example? Where do we see Lord Nityananda being very fearless? Can you think of something? or something?
In Mayapur, Lord Nityanand threw Singhasan of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the pond.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Avaduta Nityananda. Yeah, sometimes his behavior was, well, we can safely say reckless. Yes, yes, being an Avaduta. He was wrestling with alligators there also. So that we cannot really follow the example. That is not for us, definitely. So in this way, he was fearless. Krishna, there in the 16th chapter, the same 16th chapter as mentioned. So he's, before describing these demoniac qualities, he's describing godly qualities. And the first, surprisingly, is fearlessness. What kind of a saint would be a fearful saint? It doesn't really add up. A saint has to be fearless. And why? Because he's in, well, basically this very basic point. Saint is a realized person who knows that I am not this body. I'm a spirit soul. This body is perishable. This body can be and will be killed, can be and will be destroyed. But the spirit soul is not of that nature. The spirit soul is eternal. And when a person is fully convinced of this, what is there to be afraid? And also this famous Bengali rhyming, how does it go? But Hare Krishna Rakeke, Hare Krishna Rakeke. That if Krishna wants to have person, yeah, if Krishna is protecting, then no one can cause any harm. And if Krishna wants to have me killed, then no one can protect me. So to be convinced of that is a quality of a saintly person or a divine person. But Lord Nityananda's fearlessness, it was also manifest in the sense that he did not care about the public opinion. So he was going around completely convinced that this is what I have to do. And we can be the same also. We will never become, of course, Nityananda. Nityananda, he has his own unique position.
Vishnu Tattva.
Yes, he belongs to Vishnu Tattva. And we are eternally in the Jiva Tattva. And that is our position. But we can still develop these highly exalted, elevated qualities by the mercy of Lord Nityananda, by the mercy of all the devotees here present. Sometimes Lord Nityananda even expressed transcendental anger. Can you think of a case where he got angry?
I heard he's Akrodha.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Who was the person who he kicked? And why? Yeah, Shivanand. And why was that? Mahabhagavat Prabhu?
Because he does not avail his service properly.
Yeah. Or there was some mishap because Shivanand Sena, he was responsible for the devotees when they were traveling from Bengal to Orissa. So he was responsible for their accommodation, and there was some mishap, and then to express his anger. And yeah, and with Advaita Acharya, sometimes jokingly, in a very brotherly mood, they would seemingly offend one another, and have these sweet quarrels with one another. So these are all very fascinating. That, as you said, Nityananda Prabhu is akrodha. There is no anger in his persona, but just for these sweet pastimes, he manifests this. The anger is always controlled, so he never becomes the servant of the anger, like in our case it might happen. But when we associate with such personalities, representatives of such personalities or servants of such personalities, then we develop these qualities also. Here in the same room, I once was asked some years ago a question that how can one control anger? So here is the recipe. Oh, there can be many ways to answer this question, but we cannot ever by force, by determination that okay, now I'll stop being angry. It doesn't. It's no use. We have to have some better means, more practical means how to actually overcome these lower qualities of anger and frustration, lust, etc. Lord Nityananda Prabhu is serving Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in a very unique rasa, similar to or the same actually as Lord Balaram being the same personality. Well, what is the rasa or what is the mood of his servitorship? Do you remember?
Sakya.
Sakya, but not only Sakya. There is actually an interesting mixture of three rasas. So not only Sakya, but what else is there? Yeah, Dasya and Vatsalya. So depending on the circumstance and how the lila unfolds, yeah. So then he takes up the different kinds of flavors of.
So there is also thing that Lord Balram or Nityananda expand himself
Hmm.
and do Madhurya also, but with his expansion.
Yeah. These are all very fascinating things. Yeah, how and it is finally unlimited, and how the Vaishnava acharyas are categorizing. So this is a deeper topic that Yogesh Prabhu mentioned. Usually it is said that the foundation is there in the three rasas. So finally, what we can learn from Nityananda Prabhu's behavior, that becoming the servant of the Lord, that is the way to actually become happy, to get satisfaction, because that is our natural position. We need not make any other attempts. What does it mean practically to become a servant? How would you explain? What is the meaning of becoming a servant to the Lord? What are your thoughts on this? How does one become a servant of the Lord?
By abiding by the master's instructions.
Yes, absolutely. And to abide by the instructions, one must have faith, shraddha, or vishwas, you would say that, I think. Can you define what is meant by faith? What is this vishwas?
And by prosecuting the process of Krishna consciousness, everything will be done.
Well said, well said. Do you know how Krishna Chaitanya? Yeah.
Shraddha Shabde Vishwas Kare Sudhira Nishta.
Exactly. Beautiful. So that to be fully convinced that simply by this process of Krishna consciousness, everything will be all right. That is faith. Usually we might think that, okay, let me come to the temple. Now it's Saturday night. I have some little spare time, so let me come. And of course, we might have so many obligations, so many entanglements. And that is part of life. But still, it is very beneficial that we cultivate this conviction that only this process of Krishna consciousness, we can link everything, whatever we are doing, we can connect that with this process of Krishna consciousness. Develop relationships with the devotees, and this way, step by step, move up ahead to realizing our long lost eternal position as the happy servant of the Lord. It is not any kind of slavery. It is very happy relationship, full of bliss, full of eternity, full of all knowledge. It gives us complete satisfaction. And this we can learn actually from Lord Nityananda's behavior. As Yogesh Prabhu we have to take instruction. We cannot be whimsical. And we have to, in order to accept this instruction, we have to be convinced. And in order to be convinced, we have to express and discuss our doubts. So whenever there are some unclarities or some doubts, the mind is telling us, how can this be like this? This seems somehow off. I don't understand it. Then we approach the devotees, discuss these things, open up our mind, open up our heart. That is one of the six important items of loving exchanges between devotees, to open up one's heart, or to inquire with confidence, or confidentially inquiring, and then confidentially opening up one's mind. Those are two items of the six, as given by Srila Rupa Goswami. And renouncing undesirable association, asatsanga tyaga, a Vaishnava Acharya, as Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says. This might sound like a sectarian or fanatical statement that you get rid of this kind of company. But actually, if we think about this with some cool head and reason, that how do we develop bad qualities? It is always by association. How does someone start taking, well, it was some typical example, university student starting to take drugs. How does that start? By company, by association. How does one start eating meat? There are so many. I've seen many families coming from India there to Finland, and then first of all they might be from Brahmana background, but gradually because of their association they start acquiring these habits, drinking wine, eating meat, and all these kind of things, thinking that, well, this is the society where we now live, and I'm associating with these people. So what is the harm? There is this concept of legitimization, thinking that, okay, if you are doing some nonsense and I do some nonsense, so what's the problem? So then we sink down to lower positions together, happily holding hands. So let's just sink down to hell together. Then we at least have one another as nice company. That is not a very sane approach on life. So therefore we should be convinced that there are higher things. We should be selective. We have intelligence. All of you are intelligent people. So please do make this a point in your life. Select your association. Select what kind of life you want to live, and make it a clear goal of your life, not just some whimsical little thing. These are very important things. We are still in our youth, so now is the time to develop this conviction. Lord Nityananda Prabhu is there to guide us, and the devotees here are very much present. So please come here. Take association. It is for your great benefit. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nityananda Prabhu ki jai. Hare Krishna. Can we take a minute or two if someone has some comment or something you want to wish to correct whatever was spoken here, some questions which arise, right?
So by following, so there is question of mine. So by following Krishna consciousness from last 5 years, so I'm seeing some beneficial results in my physics also, and so the first instruction of Lord Krishna. So this is a proven path. So the first instruction of Lord Krishna is that Dehinosmin yatha dehe. You are not this body, you are spirit soul. But I think it is very difficult to realize that. Also, the thing is that by abiding the instructions of Lord Krishna, so he has given many instructions that you have to control your senses and all that instructions, and also remember me. So sometimes a person slips from like controlling his senses. So what should we do? So first question is that it is very difficult to realize. Second question is that a person slips from his initial place, by doing service. After that he slips, but he continues to take association. So is that a right thing or wrong?
Seems that it is unavoidable, especially this latter part of your good question. We might. I have seen this kind of attitude, mentality that I shouldn't start devotional life because I might not perfect. I might not be perfect. But where is a thing, where any kind of hobby or whatever we might do, where we would be there in the perfection at the very beginning. So it looks like unavoidable that there will be fall downs, and like a baby who is starting to crawl and then gradually learns to walk. So many times the baby falls down. But then if there is this kind of attitude that, okay, I have fallen down, so then I'll crawl for the rest of my life, then what's the use of that? It seems in fact, that it is very difficult to realize this fact that we are not this body, but by behavior, by association, by living like that, that is the way the realization comes naturally. But the more we have room in our life for material indulgence, or the more we give room for these thoughts that I, me, and mine, and I have to protect what is my own. It is happening at temples also. That here is my almira and my belongings, wanting to make sure that my dinner plate, my prasadam, my room, my this and that. So as long as we cling on to these ideas of I, me, and mine, it will be very difficult. But the only problem is that we don't want to, because we are not yet fully convinced. We don't have full faith that our best interest is simply to surrender. But we think that, okay, let me hold on to this for my protection. But none of these things can actually protect us.
Actually, every book that I read of Srila Prabhupada, in single page, every single page, it contains a line. It contains a line that you are not this body, you are soul. But we are not able to realize it.
Yes, yes. And we don't want to accept that. That is the difficulty. That even though Srila Prabhupada, he's kindly hammering this point. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You just let go of all of this, your hogwash nonsense, as Srila Prabhupada might say. But then all these questions come. Well, what about this? What about that? I have my duties. And there was an incident where in the pastimes of Lord Jesus Christ, there was one gentleman, a follower of Jesus. And then Jesus said that, okay, now let's go. You just come and follow me. He was expressing some love and dedication. But then this gentleman replied that, well, you see, dear sir, my father just passed. And now I have to perform the funeral rites, and then I'm ready to go. And what was Jesus' reply? Let the dead bury their dead, and we just go now. So that was how he. It might seem cruel or brutal, this kind of behavior, but we should understand that these things, we do certainly have our material responsibilities, but we should perform them as something what Krishna has given to us, not with this idea that, okay, I'll do this move and that move, and then I will be better off, then I will have a better position. But as long, it's very deeply ingrained in our thinking process that I'll do this because this is beneficial for me. No, we should do what is beneficial for the devotees, what is beneficial to the Supreme Lord. When we are fully convinced of that, then automatically this conviction comes also that we are not this body. We realize this by practice. But no amount of accumulation of knowledge will ever bring us. It has to be linked with perpetual activity. There is just last thing I'll mention in this regard. There in Srimad Bhagavatam, 1st canto, 2nd chapter, and verse number 6. Savai pumsam paro dharma, yato bhakti rajhoksache. So this is the dharma for all living beings is rendering service to the Supreme Lord. And what kind of service? Ahaituki apratihata, yayatma suprasidati. That it will fully satisfy the soul when it is when it is without any material motivation, without the thinking that what is in it for me, what is my gain, and that it is perpetual. It is non-interrupted. So when these two things are there, that selfless service, and we do it not just today. I'll serve like anything, and then tomorrow I'll forget about all of it. No, not this way. Perpetually we serve, and without selfish motives. Then that will soon it will give us that realization what we are now missing. Is that okay? Hare Krishna.
No more questions.
If there are any. And of course, we can have some talks.
In the Gita it says,
Yeah.
Tyagat Shantiranantara.
Hmm.
Detachment, peace comes.
Yes, yes. Yeah,
Renounce.
yeah. Yeah. So the point is there. We try to control things and knowing that we know how things should be. But who are we? Well, how much do we know? The Lord knows. We should simply take shelter. That is our part. That is our position. Sometimes we are put in a position of a controller, like a head of the family or boss in some company. But then we do that as our service, not as as the proprietor, not as the owner of anything, but servant. That is our happy position. It's a very very happy position actually.
अगर कोई बात करना चाहता है प्रभु जी के साथ पर्सनली तो पर्सनली भी बात कर सकता है. So some quiz questions.
Oh yeah, yeah, there are a few. Yeah, firstly, what would you now say? Well, you have been hearing so much before already.
Hand raise करना फिर. So they will first raise the hand and then you will ask, then they will give reply.
So first I ask, then they raise hands, and
Yes.
yeah.
That is the method.
Okay. So will you please tell me why is it people are suffering here in this world? This is a so often asked question, and philosophers have been, why do bad things happen to good people? A classical question, but now simply asking, why is there suffering? Why are people suffering in this world? What is the cause of that? Yes, please.
Because of their desires, materialistic desires.
Yeah. What did you have in mind? Yeah, sure. Here you see there's no single straightforward answer. Both are applicable. Both are correct. Did you have something in mind?
Because they don't have a specific goal in their life.
Very good.
Trapped in materialistic.
Very good. Yes. Yeah.
Actually, there is one statement also by Guru Maharaj.
Hmm.
Almost everyone suffers by having a wrong concept of life.
Yes. Maya means misconception, misunderstanding. That we don't know what is what. And then we will suffer when we do not know where we are supposed to be. So we have to have not only sentiment, not only the devotion as a sentiment, but it has to be founded on knowledge. So then knowledge will set us free. And sometimes it says, huh?
Truth will set you free.
Yes, yeah. Knowledge and truth, yes.
Whose answer?
Hmm?
Whose answer is correct? So will they will get prizes after that.
All right. Yeah. Yeah, so please be active in your replies.
So first question, whose answer was correct?
Oh, most correct. Well, hard to say who will be most correct, because all of them are on the right path. It's just a different angle on this. So let's see. A few more questions are here. So what is the way to overcome these sufferings then? And how do we get this lasting happiness? Nitya Ananda, eternal happiness. What is the means to get that? Come on, all of you have an idea. How do we get this real happiness?
By taking holy name of Krishna.
Yeah, sure.
By following a guru.
Yes. Good. Anything else comes to your mind? Taking the whole, yeah?
Vaishnav Sangh.
Yes, good. Yeah, good answers. 3 more questions are here. What kind of dangers there might be on the path of material advancement? How can it be dangerous to become materially very advanced, to get a high position or lots of material knowledge and understanding? Well, what can it be dangerous, and how exactly?
Attachment to
We forget
position.
that we forget forget our real nature.
Oh, that's a nice one. Yeah.
Attachment to higher position.
Hmm.
Also, he writes that I have done a lot of hard work to achieve it.
Yes.
So very
Yes.
difficult to detach from that.
Yes. Yes. Were you saying something? Did you have something in mind? Sorry, I don't know your name, Prabhu.
Kapil.
Kapil. Your name is Nikhil.
And I can add something in the question.
Uh-huh.
Answer given by Mr. Puri.
Oh,
He
okay.
said that your question was why people are suffering,
Hmm.
and he said that due to material desires.
Yes.
Then my question is, should we stop desiring?
Oh, yeah. That's a nice
How
concept.
how it is possible?
This is what the Buddhists say, that it seems like simplified path. Okay, here's the problem. Get rid of the problem, and then everything will be okay after that. As Srila Prabhupada put it, that okay, if you have a house, then to maintain that house, one can take notice that there's a lot of hard work. So I'll just set the house on fire, so then no more problem. That is not a very intelligent way to solve the problem. But rather, we should learn to desire the right thing, and it might need some training, some little practice. But desire in itself, that is not the bad thing, because desire, one cannot remove desire from a living being. Then there is a Guru Maharaj said that Buddhism and these kind of philosophies are for deeply traumatized people. So when disturbance of the mind becomes so great that you just want to end it all, you just think that to have this shunya, that would be so much better than have all these varieties. Then that is the path for such a person. But there's no real satisfaction. It does not give us bliss, but it can be a stepping stone for higher platforms of realization. Could someone of you, this will be, yeah, it's already getting late, and prasadam is waiting there. So let this be the last question I'll ask. Can you mention some qualities of Lord Nityananda Prabhu's, well, some of his qualities, and explain how we can manifest them? Some qualities and some description of those qualities upon what you just heard, or from what you have heard previously. What kind of qualities that does?
So one quality is fearlessness.
Yes.
So by realizing that we are actually the soul and not the body.
Yes. And obviously he is in full realization of that, so therefore he's very fearless. Thank you. That's good. And anything else? Qualities of
Compassionate.
Yes.
Most compassionate.
Yes, being the most compassionate. Yeah, that's right. Let this be, if you allow, one last question, so then we can settle the scores and who came out victorious of this quiz. Well, what is Nityananda's service mood? His rasa.
The mixture of three rasas.
Mm-hmm.
Dasya,
Mm-hmm.
Sakya,
Mm-hmm.
and Vatsalya.
Jai. Well done. Thank you so much. Nityananda Ram ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा, अगर कोई रोहित से बात करना चाहे तो बात कर सकते हैं। और